We got quarterback Cam Miller here. We'll go straight into questions. Stephen Hawkins, if you'd like to start.
Hey, Cam. Good. Stephen Hawkins with the AP in Texas. You might have heard me ask Coach this question, but what does it say about having a game like this with you and Tommy both having been there for a long time and stayed, and here you are playing for another championship?
Yeah, I think it speaks to both of our characters. I have a lot of respect for Tommy and the way that he handles himself and the way that he performs on the field. And I think it just, in my opinion, speaks to the programs that we both play at. And I think both of us represent the program very well. And I think just the young guys, like the young quarterbacks for both programs, see that two talented quarterbacks decided to stay and didn't go and play, at a different school. I think means a lot to those guys, being a positive example for them. And I think people across the country will see that two of the top quarterbacks in FCS decided to stay at their program and have been successful, and that you can get whatever you want from the program you're at.
I finally had a chance last night to watch the semifinal game, and I know Bryce has had a great year, and that catch for the winning touchdown was unbelievable. But when's he going to be known as Bryce Lance and not Trey's little brother?
I think now, honestly, I think the way that he's played this year, he's no longer, Trey's little brother. And I think he's made a name for himself just by the way that he plays and the way that he carries himself. He's been tremendous for us, the entire season. And I expect him to be great on, next Monday.
Last question I got for you. Fargo to Frisco has been quite a thing for the last 15 years. Throughout these 15 years, it's been in this. What does it mean for you guys knowing the kind of support you're going to have? I know you have it everywhere, but just knowing that people are going to make that trek from Fargo to Frisco.
I think it's rare. And we have one of the best fan bases in the country, and just to see them traveling down to Frisco every time that we play there. And I know the guys in the locker room really appreciate that, and we understand that there's a lot on the line to get to Frisco, and it's a tough road to get there. And I know it just means a lot to the fans that we get to Frisco every year, and we have the expectation to get there every year. And I know it makes our fans happy, and they enjoy traveling down there.
All right, thanks, man.
Dom Izzo.
Cam, I know I asked you last week about how your career is intersected with South Dakota State. Montana State is there as well. I mean, I knew you were a sophomore in the championship game, the game last year. Just describe how Montana State is weaved through your career as well.
Yeah, playing them twice, they're always a physical outfit, very similar to us. And watching them on film, they look really, really good. And we're going to have our hands full, offense and defense and special teams. But having played them twice, you know what to expect from them. And we're going to have to do everything we can to slow them down on offense, and we're going to have to stay on the field against them. It's very similar to South Dakota State, where turnovers are a huge factor in the game, and time of possession, all those key little things are going to be huge in the game.
What do you remember about that Montana State game in Frisco 3 years? It seems like forever ago. Now it's almost 4 years ago. What do you remember about that?
I just remember offensively, we were really stout up front. I think there was something I had seen a few days ago that every single offensive lineman on that team made an NFL roster. So when you have that, you can run the ball effectively, and that's what we did. I know watching the game, the last time I watched it was probably a year or two ago, but I just remember the grass down there was kind of slick, and their defensive linemen couldn't get their feet in the ground, and we were getting double teams up to the linebackers, and that's what helped us run the ball effectively against them. At the time, I was considered a game manager, and I really wasn't expected to, or I wasn't, told to do anything spectacular other than stay on the field on third down, don't force the football, and just play within yourself. And I think my role from then has kind of evolved into being a playmaker and trying to do everything I can to help our team win.
Last one, the game last year in Bozeman, it seems like Montana State has played angry since then. Just the way that game played out, can you just reflect on it now, or how remarkable that ending was?
It was unbelievable. And, but I didn't think that watching the film this week from that game that we played very well on offense, especially early on in the game. I think we had maybe the first 3 drives were 3-and-outs. We couldn't stay on the field, and that provides a lot of stress to our defense, especially against an offense like them. We have to capitalize on staying on the field, and that's what I remember most about that. And then just some big plays down the stretch where we got some sacks. We had a really big drive there when it was 28-21 to put it into overtime. I know we had a few big runs, a few big passes, and I think that helped us have some momentum going into overtime where we ended up winning it.
Thanks, bud.
Devin Fry.
Cam, obviously a real emotional win for you guys in the semifinals. What have you seen from this group kind of moving on? Obviously a national championship being on the horizon probably helps with that a little bit, but what have you seen from this group as you get ready for this trip to Texas?
What I've seen from the group is a group that's not satisfied with getting to the national championship. Like you said, there was a lot of emotions in the semifinal game, and we enjoyed that for 2 or 3 days, and then it was, okay, what's next? And the stage is set, and we know what we're about to get from a very talented outfit. And I think we've had our best 3 or 4 practices of the year so far. I think it's been physical. Guys have been flying around. They've been locked into details, and we need to continue that for the next week if we're going to have a chance.
Do these games, when you're getting ready to go up against another really good quarterback on the other team, do these games feel any different for you in that preparation aspect, even just mentally, when there's, the other Walter Payton Award finalist on the other roster? Does the game just start to feel a little bit more big to you, or how do you kind of keep that level?
I try to prepare the same for every game, and I have full faith in our defense that no matter the quarterback, it could be Tom Brady, but I know that our defense is fundamentally sound, and they're going to do a really good job, and they've seen really good quarterbacks. I know Tommy Mellott is a great quarterback, but I think the preparation and the guys that we've seen throughout the year are going to help them against Tommy, having played against Shedeur Sanders, Mark Gronowski, and the Abilene Christian quarterback. We've played against really good quarterbacks, and I think that's going to prepare them well.
Thanks, Cam.
Victor Flores.
Hey, Cam. I was wondering what the biggest differences you've seen between the 2021 Bobcats and the one you faced last year in Bozeman.
That's a good question. I think offensively, and now I don't watch a lot of Montana State offense. I'm more focused on their defense, but I do think Tommy is more dynamic now than he was then. I think the running backs are probably better, and I think they've gotten better every year since 2021. Now they've had some injuries throughout the years that have kind of hindered them making a run into the playoffs, but they always have a really good defense with good linebackers, good D-line, and their secondary is good as well. But like I said, I think they've improved from 21 to then 23 last year and then up until now.
And defensively on their personnel side, who stands out most? What are some 1 or 2 players that you really have been impressed with on their defensive unit?
I think both of their DNs are really, really good, number 11 and number 41. I think it helps that we have 2 All-American tackles that'll be matched up on them. But those 2 really pop when you're watching tape. And I also think that both their safeties are very good. They like to bring, number 26 into the run fit, and he makes a lot of plays for them. And number 2 is good in coverage as well. And I think their DBs do a really good job, too, in man coverage. I think those are really the players that have, in my opinion, really stood out on tape.
Thanks, Cam.
Time for a couple more here. Greg Rochick, you'll be up next.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. So, what can you say in terms of having experience in this game? Not just experience, but winning experience in this game. from the past. How can that help you in this one, do you think?
I think having been there, this will be my third time playing there. I think knowing what the noise is going to be like, the atmosphere, everything, having been in pressure, situations, I think really gives me a lot of confidence going into this game. And then I think just relying on the guys in the locker room who have also played in this game, I think gives everyone confidence. I think probably 4 or 5 guys on our defense played in the game in 22 against South Dakota State. We have multiple guys on offense who played in that game as well. I think just having that experience really, I think, carries over into this game next Monday.
Thanks.
Coulter Nuanez.
Hey Cam, Coulter Nuanez from Skyline Sports. Thanks for taking a minute. Just 2 for me. Marty Brown getting to this point in the season and just the endurance he's shown, the toughness he's shown. What is it taking for him to be here, and how impressive is that for a first-year guy at a physical position like running back?
Super impressive, and now he has a lot of help with our offensive line, and he's just, like you said, just been super tough to be a freshman and to carry the ball 10 to 15 times a game. And I think what impresses me the most about him is he doesn't shy away from contact, even late in the game when, he's taking some shots. And last week, he's struggled through a little bit of an injury and he's back now, but just a super tough kid, and he's a great guy to have in the locker room and a great guy to play next to.
A lot of talk about the standard at North Dakota State over the years, even before your time, and I know Coach Polsek really talked about that this year as well. In his first year as the head coach, how has he sort of defined or redefined that standard for you guys?
I think he's made it clear what the standard is, and he preaches it throughout the week, no matter who we're playing. And I think what's impressed me the most about him is he's a motivator, and how much he cares, and guys really rally behind that. And he's never going to ask any of the players to do something that he's not willing to do. And I just really appreciate the way that he approaches every day and the way he attacks practices, workouts, and I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
And real last one, the sort of finality of this situation, like this is your last college football game no matter what happens. Has that set in for you? And if so, how much does that sort of motivates, maybe the wrong word, but just enjoying this moment and sort of relishing in this being your last hurrah? What's that mean to you?
I think you hit it spot on, just trying to enjoy this moment. And having gone home for a few days for Christmas, you kind of reflect on the season and knowing that no matter what, this is the last one. I think my mentality going into this one is having fun. Last time playing with the guys, the stage is set. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and the last time wearing the green and gold is going to be special for everyone. And like I said, I'm just going to have fun and really just enjoy being out there with my teammates and cutting it loose.